What's up everyone, welcome to a brand new video on the channel. This is, I feel like, a very overdue video that I don't think I've ever made. I have, however, talked about this topic before a lot in videos, and actually if I look up, right now, if I actually search on YouTube, sim steering, it'll literally come up with sim steering Forza Horizon 4 dubs. It's like one of the most searched, like, terms there, which is really weird. But yeah, apparently, I've been telling people to basically go and check out the video where I discussed this, but I don't think I've actually made it specifically on this topic. So this is sim steering versus normal steering and what the difference is between those. I think I've discussed this in one of my tutorial videos or one of my drifting tutorial videos, something like that. But I don't think I've ever made it like the title of the video and the thumbnail and everything like that. So I'm going to show you guys and tell you and explain the difference between sim steering and normal steering in this game. Now, it's really, really important that you understand what this does, especially when it comes to drifting. Like I said, I feel like this video is very well overdue, but I'm just going to do it anyway, regardless, because I think still people are going to, like, benefit from it anyway. So yeah, I'm on the needle climb. Obviously, you don't have to be here. Sim steering, normal steering. Now, if I'm stood completely still and I'm turning my wheels, you won't notice the difference between sim steering and normal steering. That's not really the thing that it does. It makes your... I'm playing on a controller, by the way, right now. I feel like if you're on a wheel, you should just try to get used to play with sim steering. Obviously, you know, in the name, it suggests that it should be more simulated. You know, it should be a little bit more realistic. Now, if you're playing on controller, it means that it is so much more twitchier to drive. So it changes directions much, much faster if you are playing on sim steering. I'm pretty sure it turns your front wheels a tiny bit quicker as well from one end to the other. So if I do this, as you can see, from one end to the other, I feel like it turns the wheels a little bit quicker. Now, how does this help in drifting? Well, here's the thing, right? Let me just show you guys, just me driving normally, and I'm just gonna turn from left to right. Right? This is me going from left to right. This is as soon as my car decides to, like, turn to one direction, I counter steer and it goes into the other direction. So this is me driving normally, right? Or let's say I'd go and I start to slide, you know, this will be very easy to control. As you can see, this, I'm on normal steering. This is pretty much the speed that your car changes direction when you're on normal steering. Now, if I do the same thing, but I change to sim steering, right? Obviously, you have assisted steering as well, which I think is stupid. Definitely never use that. And if I go and turn around, I'll do the exact same thing. Literally the exact same thing, right? You ready? Look how much quicker it changes direction. And it goes from one extreme to the other much, much faster. Now, you can also see me speeding up as well because I kind of have to make it, or else if I drive a bit too slow, it slows down a bit too much. So this is the thing. Sim steering basically makes your front wheels grip up more and turn quicker from one direction to the other. Right? If you're standing completely still, it's very, very, very difficult to notice, especially because the front wheels don't usually... It's weird because when you're driving around, your front wheels, unless you're playing on an actual steering wheel, they don't look like they're really connected to the grip that's actually being put down on the road, if that makes sense. So, why is this important? Why am I playing? Why are loads of people that are going for leaderboards and stuff like that, why are they playing on sim steering and not just normal steering? And that's because you get more points. Now, think of it like this, right? I go around, I take this corner. Right, this is all-wheel drive, by the way, this thing that I'm driving right now. I take this corner, I end up getting to about this point, right? Let me stop completely, stop at this angle as well. And then here, I decide to turn into the other direction, right? Basically, you know, counter steer, and then pretty much reposition my car, so then when it starts sliding, it'll end up being like this, going into that corner. Now, if I play on normal steering, my car turns at a specific speed, right? To transition to the other corner. So if I go... I'll show you guys now, going out of this corner, going downhill, and then here I'm going to start turning left, and then it transitions and goes left, right? Does that make sense? Now on sim steering, that is much, much faster, right? It changes direction much, much quicker. Now that is useful, especially for this, because it means that your car isn't driving in a straight line for too long. Especially in drift zones, this is really, really, really good, because that little bit where your car is pretty much facing the same way that the actual corner is going, at that point you're not getting any points because you're not technically sliding. You're kind of driving in a straight line, if that makes sense. So if you're trying to minimize the amount of time that you spend in a straight line, sim steering is the way to go. So sim steering basically lets you transition from one direction to the other quicker which makes it so you drive less in a straight line, plus then you're just gonna get more points in general if you're going around corners. So that's pretty much why people use sim steering when it comes to drifting. Very, very little movement as well is needed when you're playing on sim steering and you're driving all-wheel drive. And watch this, immediately transitions to the other side. See what I mean? Like, it just doesn't take long at all for me to drive from one direction to the other direction. It's much, much quicker to transition and change direction to the other side when you're playing on sim steering. Again, this is going to change from the car to car. Like, it's going to be completely different, especially on terms of grip on the tires. I'm on drag tires right now, so this is going to be, you know, a little bit slower, I guess, to transition. I feel like some cars in this game are a little bit quicker, especially if you're on race tires. You know, it depends on how much grip your front end actually has. So it's all different on every single car. If you're trying to race on sim steering, it's a little bit more difficult, and I'll show you guys as well how difficult that is if you're trying to race on it. Not drift, by the way, but when you're actually racing. But look how easy it is for me to get points and then transition as well from one direction to another on sim steering. It doesn't take long at all. You just sort of point yourself in the direction that you want to go, and you just point yourself into the other direction, and then you immediately transfer. And again, like I said, there's very little steering involved that you need, especially on all-wheel drive cars when it comes to sim steering, if you want to do any sort of point drifting. But there's very, very little steering involved. You sort of just control your car with the throttle pretty much all the way around corners, which is one other benefit of sim steering. I mean, normal steering, again, is pretty decent. Like, any smaller little movements that you end up doing on normal steering, they just do less, if that makes sense. Now, let me show you guys a car that is not made to drift with. I'm going to take out the VW IDR. I think that's a really good one to show you. So, VW IDR, you can drive on normal steering perfectly, right? Like, this is specifically built for me to drive on normal steering. If I go ahead and I start going left and right with this thing, right? Especially when I have a little bit of speed, right? When I'm doing this, is fine. When I accelerate a little bit too much, and then I try to counter steer, right? Let's say I'm going a little bit too fast, or whatever, or my back end comes out, and then you try to counter steer. That front end has so much more grip on this car compared to the Shelby King Cobra, that the front end just darts in the other direction. And it's difficult as well on some of these, like, really, really fast cars, especially if you're driving at crazy, crazy speeds, to control it. I mean, I've played this game for a long, long time, so I know how much I need to sort of steer with some of these cars and stuff like that, especially with sim steering or normal steering. But it's very, very noticeable on a car that has a lot of front end grip, how it just snaps to the other direction, if that makes sense, if you're using sim steering. So sometimes I get caught out as well, and I'm trying to drive a car normally, and then I'm just hit with sim steering, and it just sort of wiggles itself about, and then I just lose control of it, you know, because it just is noticeable when it does it. So yeah, that's pretty much what sim steering is being used for. So for people that are constantly asking me in my videos, what is sim steering? Why am I using it instead of normal steering? It is basically to remove the transition period, or sorry, to reduce, not remove, to reduce the time of the transition period between, you know, turns, I guess you can call it that, between me sliding in this direction and then me sliding in the other direction, which means I get to spend less time driving in a straight line, and I get to get more points pretty much at the end of the run. That's pretty much why people use sim steering when it comes to that. Again, if you're on a wheel, you can use it all the time. If you're on keyboard, you're even more assisted than when you are on the controller, so you can try whatever you want on keyboard. I feel like it's going to be a little bit more difficult to control sim steering, but people are crazy. They do weird things. But I guess that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully this explains sim steering to you guys. I know it's a little long, but I wanted to explain by showing you as well, and not just, you know, me telling you what it is, because I feel like it'll be kind of dumb for me to just tell you and then just end the video there, like 30-second video. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, short little video of sim steering versus normal steering. And yeah, if you guys have any other questions, let me know down in the comments below. And that's it. Actually, really quick, just before the video's over, I have created a clips channel, so Dubs Clips. It's just loads of highlights and small clips from different places, either from streams or from this channel or from my second channel, just funny videos and stuff like that. And I've decided to make a channel there. I'm not going to spam videos on there or anything like that, but they're very, very short. And if you want to go subscribe to that, the link will be down in the description box below. You can check it out and subscribe to it there. And yeah, again, I really hope to see you guys here in the future. Again, if you enjoyed today's video, like it, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. But for now, that's pretty much it. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Goodbye.